Welcome back to another episode of Venture into the Vault. You know, I was watching something recently, something fascinating, and it reminded me of some of my stuff in the vault. Here, I'll show you. This is Blue Planet 2. I collect all of these David Attenborough documentaries. In fact, my favorite Star Trek movie is the one with the whales.
Vilka helvetet håll! Admiral! There be whales here!
Well done, Mr. Scott. How soon can we be ready for warp speed?
Full power now, sir!
If you will, Mr. Sulu.
Aye, sir. Warp speed.
And before that film, I used to watch a show about whales starring a young Ben Affleck and Rachel, played by Mary Tanner. Ben played C.T. Granville, and he adventured aboard his grandfather's ship, the Mimi, as they tracked and studied humpback whales. Through watching this show, I learned things like a knot is a nautical mile, a fathom is 6 feet below water, shoals are shallow waters, and something very interesting about whales. You see, all life began in the water, like this trilobite from 500 million years ago. But eventually, some of the animals evolved to live on the land. And it was one of those land mammals, like an ancient dog, that made its way back to the water and evolved into the whale. And the blue whale is the largest animal that has ever lived on the earth, bigger than the dinosaurs. Its heart is the size of a car, and you could swim through its veins. My family already had an interest in humpback whales, dating back to when we got this flexi disc of whale songs out of an issue of National Geographic magazine in 1979. Let's listen to a little bit of it while I draw.
These are underwater sounds made by humpback whales as they pass near Bermuda in the spring. They were recorded through a hydrophone, which is a kind of underwater microphone. The water is very deep, and the sounds are echoing off the undersurfaces of waves and from the submarine canyons and ridges on the island slope. If you listened for a long time, you would hear that the sounds are organized into definite repeating patterns. So we call them songs, just as we refer to bird songs or frog songs. Unlike bird songs, humpback songs are very long, 6 to 30 minutes, and are strung together without pauses between them. They are probably the longest, loudest, and slowest songs in nature. A good way to hear the patterned structure of humpback songs is to speed them up to birdsong speeds. This song is sped up 14 times. It's the only speed change on this record.
Even before getting this record, we used to learn about life on the high seas while watching the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau.
These are humpback whales, given their name by early whalers who observed the curious arching of their backs when diving. Beneath the then impenetrable veil of the sea, early whalers could not guess at the humpback's beauty and fluid grace, or imagine the awesome display of its long white flippers.
The Calypso rides among them for hours, and we study their behavior.
Captain Cousteau invented scuba gear, led the world in oceanic research, and pioneered the popularization of science through entertainment. He would also lead his aquanauts on dives to sunken ships. That reminds me of when I was 17 years old and working for a group of shipwreck divers called Sunken Treasure Incorporated. I was on the payroll to draw treasure maps, shirts, trading cards, and even a comic book for them. Oh, before I forget, there was another popular nature documentary series running in the 70s featuring all the animals in the world, including whales, called Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Welcome to Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Dr. Wynn is attempting to have this ocean area over the Silver Navidad banks proclaimed an international sanctuary because this is where the whales come to give birth to their young. And there's our first sighting of a mother whale with calf born in these waters.
This journey back to my youth reminded me of how much I used to love learning about science and nature, how much I used to dream about adventure and exploration. Decades of adult responsibilities have gone by so fast that maybe that inquisitive child has been lost to the fog of time. Or maybe it's not too late for me yet. Let's go on a little expedition of our own and see if we can find some whales. Well, I had some luck. I found a piece of a dead whale. This is a vertebrae, and I'm taking it home with me, but before I do, let's go see if we can find some living whales.
A few moments later.
No whales.